like to help us with the pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move the first item at the end of the meeting. We'll review and approve the minutes after the public hearing for the 2019 budget. So, Mark, could you give us an idea of what you have in mind?
Well, hopefully everybody's had an opportunity to get away and look at the budgets and where they were at from this time for the 2018 budget and 2019. There's really no difference. Really, if there's a 1.5% difference, I'll be surprised. I wouldn't think it's 1%, 1.5%. So we're still operating off pretty much the same money as we did last year. Just a slight increase, about 1.5% maybe at most.
So 1.5% from last year to this year.
Yeah, and that just reflects the small amount of growth that the township and the town has seen over the last year. So it's really not much.
You said at one point in time that the donations were going up. Maybe you told me, Vicki, the assistance. Is that picked up this year?
Earlier this year it did. We've since slowed down over the summer, so we've kind of balanced back out, which was a good thing. So, yeah, so it's kind of tapered.
Any idea why that didn't pick up?
All I know is utility bills were really high this winter with it being really cold, and so when the moratorium hits in the middle of March, balances due where they get disconnected. So we have a lot of very large balances from over the winter that were due. So, I mean, between us and Churches of Mission, and we have another agency we work with if they have small children in the house as well. I mean, we did, we all worked together to try to get everybody covered, which I think we did. But it was, there was a lot of very large bills this winter, really large.
And I think that's probably due to the effect of the weather, that we had such cold weather all the way up until April. We had snow on the ground in April, so snowing in April. So I think that probably contributes to a little bit more the need this year with high utility bills and stuff that people need.
You guys have any questions on the budget?
So I do see, I know you had said you'd be surprised at about a 1% increase. Looks like from the certified budget from last year, it's a 2.2% increase.
See, they didn't tell us exactly what it's going to be this year. They don't even know yet. So we was just budgeting conservative. So it's not much more than that. If it's 1.5%, I'd be surprised. If it's 2%, I'm still not surprised.
Yeah,
it's
so
not much at all.
So last year the certified budget, 2 million, 2.7, just a little over that.
Right.
So it does come out. The increase is about 58,592. Looks like you got an increase in the general, the township assistance, emergency ambulance, the fire, and then the other ones that I did not state on this sheet, which is the rainy day fund, the fire equipment debt, and cumulative fire. Those three, they're the same.
That's not actually what we get. We won't know what we actually get until we get the 1782 notice, but this is what we just budgeted for.
Yep.
So there seemed like there was room in the levies for that, so that's where we're at. We don't want to be under the levy, so we'll try to do it to meet the levy.
Are you able to identify then maybe some of those increases for public knowledge and transparency in some of those?
Sure. Which ones would you like to know about?
It looks like general, there is approximately 6,000 plus in there, so I don't know if you can kind of direct us what form we can locate it on. That'd be great.
Let's see here.
It's under budget form 4A. It's in one of your paperclip sections, and each fund is listed right there.
Since Vicki made the packets out for you, she knows right where they're
It'll be the first packet that
With the paperclip.
paperclip,
Yep.
and that lists everything individually.
What were you looking at?
What the increases were in the general from the certified budget last year to the estimated budget that they're requesting for this year or next year.
Yeah, this is what it was. Now it does compare to 18 and 19, but it does say what we want for
Adam, getting back to your transparency stuff, if anybody that wants a copy of these budgets are more than welcome to have a copy of them for transparency. We don't withhold any of this information from the public. This is all public information that can be accessed on Gateway for anybody to see. So, I mean, it's all.
You mean these packets right here, right now? Can you
I
go
pulled
to
all that off of Gateway.
They're off Gateway, so.
Do you have to have a special code? Because I actually contacted them today, and
If
they said that
Yes.
these were not. They said that
Okay.
the only one
What
that
I'm
was up
saying
there
is,
was this
we
form.
will make these forms available to anybody that wants to see them, is what I'm telling you. So, I mean, they are on Gateway for everybody, the board members and the administration to see, but if anybody would like those copies, we'd be more than happy to furnish them.
So do we have? So as a board member at this Gateway, do we need a special login?
No.
Okay. So
So you have
was
public
the
access by the same email address, same as the public. You guys have the same access as I do. Now, we have different because we have to play with the numbers,
We
obviously.
administrate, because we changed the numbers, but what is actually there is visible for everybody to see, they can access it all.
And that is what the state puts out there for everybody, so.
Were you guys able to find this on the Gateway? Because I know when I called the department today, they were not. And I was not able to find the 2019. I only found the notice to taxpayers. So
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
found all these.
Oh, yeah, I know there's some.
So maybe there's some.
I'm on there for other things like the library board and stuff like that. I'm looking at stuff, so.
Yeah, because she had sent the link, and so yeah, I just wanted to clarify.
I can also, if you want.
Oh yeah, I mean because obviously the actual department said that it wasn't. They said it was only this form. So yeah, that's great.
Okay.
But with that said, I think, we can come up with other options too.
Well, and I would also clarify, until everything gets adopted at our next meeting, none of this is gonna be published because it's not official until you guys adopt it. So we
Thank you.
can't publish all that until then.
Thank you. I
That's why
appreciate
you
it.
only get the initial information because nothing is adopted
I
yet.
appreciate it. And, well, you said you could view it. So that's why I was thanking for the
You will be able to.
Will be able to. But
But
Well,
if
there's
anybody
like
wants
all
to
the-
view it now, they can more than happy, we'll provide it for them, Adam, just. like I
Exactly.
told you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to make sure that, because you said you can go to the Gateway, but it sounds like for the public knowledge, you'd have to see this information, you'd have to actually come to the trustee's office currently.
At the moment.
Because that's not, it's not been adopted
Thank you.
yet, Adam.
Appreciate it.
So being in here, is there anything we have to, we're not adopting anything,
You need to open it.
okay.
Yeah, we just open it.
Yeah, are there any other questions from the public? Okay. Do we need a motion on this?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Not one that should be
Just a
here,
hearing.
this is just a public hearing.
Okay,
This
good.
is just advertising a public hearing.
And I don't have to sign anything, huh?
No.
So kind of going back though, there were definitely increases. Are you able to kind of, for transparency, can you kind of highlight some of those areas, specifically like the emergency ambulance services? Looks like,
Yeah, we'll provide all that to the press if they want to print it, that's fine. We'll print that out. So, but for like the township general fund, clerical's only going at $500, part-time clerical $100, medical insurance $837, other insurance it's $5,000. Welfare administration $500, part-time clerical I think it's going up 100. Fire fund salaries $16,000. Overtime budget's going up $1,195. I'm sorry, $1,995. Or I'm sorry,
Sorry.
$995. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, 995.
And it goes back into employees pay with the chief, assistant chief, training budget goes up $100. Technical recoveries $360. EMS salaries is $15,000. And again, everything is got one
Just medical insurance.
for medical,
Yeah, medical insurance went up too.
$15,000 for medical. So those are just some of the highlights, but everybody will be given to the press for them to be able to print out and paper for everybody to see this figures.
thank you, Mark. I appreciate that.
Any other questions? Yeah? Okay. All right, so let's slip back up and, on the first item in terms of approving the minutes.
Right back on the board meeting. Thank
What I would like to do, we had had a learning moment in the last meeting, and which caused me to buy the latest edition of Robert's Rules of Order. What I'd like to pass out is the motions and the outcomes that we had for the fire truck item on the last in the last meeting. I'll choose one of these if you guys, anybody wants a copy of this, it's fine. No, okay. You want? Yeah. Okay. Okay, we were talking about, we're trying to make a motion on the fire truck. Turns out we ended up making 3 motions, 2 new motions and 1 motion we call reconsider. Let me go through these just step by step. Motion number 1 was, and I'm just going to use your last name, guys, sorry. Hester. Hester says, Steve, I make a motion that we allow them to purchase, this is verbatim, by the way, and I went through the tape, and this is exactly what everybody said. Steve, I make the motion that we allow them to purchase a new fire truck, for that be the decision we go with. Oshman, I second the motion. All those in favor say aye. The outcome of that was Hester and Oshman voted aye, Johnson voted no. Motion passed 2-1, and this allows the township management to purchase a new fire truck. A little bit later in the meeting, motion 2, Johnson said, I make a motion that prior to any consideration of a pumper fire truck replacement, that a vehicle plan, replacement plan, needs to be created as well as a complete cost analysis and presented to the board. Hester says, are you saying prior to us actually purchasing it, that be done? Johnson, that is correct. Hester, I will then second the motion. Oshman, all those in favor say aye. The outcome of that motion was unanimous, 3-0. A little bit later in the meeting, Johnson says, on the original motion for clarity, I did forget a line, so I do need to restate that motion. This is called a reconsidered motion, motion to reconsider. Oshman, we need to hear it. Johnson, yep. Oshman, we voted on it. Johnson, yep. Johnson went on to explain what he left off, and eventually the following motion was made. Johnson, prior to any consideration of a pumper fire truck replacement, the fire department will need to complete and present to the board a full cost analysis report, as well as the fleet management plan replacement and the purpose for all tanker options, and that includes new and used, and underneath each one would be a commercial and custom option. Oshman, do we have a second? The outcome of that reconsidered motion was it died for lack of a second. In the meeting, then, therefore, motions 1 and 2 passed, and the reconsidered motion did not. As I said, this is covered in Robert's Rules of Orders in the parliamentary section, which I understand we adhere to. The motion to reconsider has to be made by a person, by the member who's actually on the winning side. Since Johnson did vote initially for the second motion, it is completely legal to ask for the reconsidered motion. However, a second, which did not occur, did not happen, but we went forward anyway with this. And so when I said, do we have a second on your restated motion, it died for lack of a second. So, what that does, there are all kinds of rules on reconsidered motions. It has to be done, for example, in the same meeting, which it was. We adhere to pretty much every restriction that's on that kind of a motion. The motion, the reconsidered motion, is what I call a motion that if you make it early in the meeting, and then you pick up some additional information through the meeting that makes you or more than one person want to reconsider, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, if you have better information and reconsider it. But the person who makes that reconsidered motion has to be on the original winning side, and Johnson was. So, the third reconsidered motion died for lack of a second. However, what happens at this point is we go back to the second motion, and that motion, because it passed 3-0, stands. Do I have any questions?
I have some statements, of course, and appreciate you taking the time to kind of put this through. And like I have reiterated, through reviewing of the minutes prior to this meeting, I have provided and suggested that all motions should be quoted specifically, word for word, in the minutes. And it appears that they consulted also with our attorney here, and he confirmed that as well in regards to the statement that I made via email. So therefore, the way the minutes currently stand, of course, Chris Hester's motion that he made is still a paraphrase. It is not an exact word for word. Excuse me, let me finish please, thank you.
Okay.
Is not exactly word for word. And so I provided that to him, which actually does not, match up with what you have printed out here today. And of course, you can listen to the minutes online. You can listen to it here locally. But I appreciate you taking the time. But I definitely, after listening word for word, and I provided that to everyone on board, as well as Vicki, since she, of course, is capturing these minutes on behalf of Chris. And then the second motion also, it looks like there was some corrections this morning on that. So it looks like it is exactly
I think you moved on to something
quoted,
else.
but fleece is not
Excuse me.
added in there. Yes, sir.
So, before you move on to that, are you saying this is not verbatim?
For Chris's motion. Chris's motion, verbatim, and I quote Chris's motion, I would like a motion to allow the fire department to go with a new purchased vehicle versus a used.
Nope.
And,
Sorry.
well, anyway, that you listen to the tape, but that's what the motion was.
Absolutely. Listen
So
to
it's
this.
very important to make sure it's accurate.
So what I would propose we do is we need to take this information and redo parts of the minutes, but I don't want to do that at this point. I think we need to spend some time to do that, so.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely at this situation, I would, further discussion I've already provided, of course, the accuracy in email, so you do have that. So that is my take, and that is what is on the tape.
And how did you provide that accuracy? Did you have tapes? Did you have video or something that you submitted to Vicki for that?
Actually, Vicki suggested there's two ways, either come in on this recording
Right.
or listen to the Facebook.
So you did watch
So
the
actually,
Facebook?
yeah, so actually it's video and recording, so kind of even better than this
Excuse me,
recording.
when did you listen to the recording? Because you have not been in the office at all.
Like I said, you stated to listen to it, correct? And there's two methods, right?
Well, audio and video is two
Okay.
different things.
Did you record that last? Okay, so you were the individual that recorded it,
Correct.
and is there audio on that?
Yep.
Okay. So like I said, there's very good audio. So thank you for that. So I did listen to it.
This
Spent
is,
a lot of time, actually, a lot of time
let me also
So,
mention here
for
that,
the
and
taxpayers.
so did a lot of people. This is the official audio for this meeting. Okay? This is what we talk about. Now answer her question. Did you review the audio?
Not on this one. Again, she said via email,
You
there's
didn't
two
hear
ways.
the audio. The
Okay.
official audio of this
So
meeting.
if you feel that there's a discrepancy or like he's modifying, that's what it sounds
I have
like.
nothing to do with that.
Some
that recording.
modifications.
This
That's
is what we go by.
That's what you're assuming.
No, I'm not assuming anything.
With that said, that's all I have to say. I mean, I put it out there. You
I
guys
have
have
one
to take
comment,
notes.
Adam. Via your email this morning, actually it was Tuesday night when you sent it to me. I
It was what?
corrected your exact statement per what you put in the email. That is worded exactly how you told me to word it. So how you can say that is not worded correctly, I'm not real sure, because I worded it exactly how you asked me to word it. Did I not?
So
Did I not? Please answer that.
So I have the email, and like I said, the word that was left out was fleet, in between vehicle and management. So again, it's unfortunate it sounds like, you've been put in the middle of this, and so maybe it's a bigger discussion, because Chris is really, the secretary should be taking the minutes, so, I can understand that frustration of being put in the middle, so maybe it's a bigger discussion.
It's not a bigger discussion. It's right here on the tape.
So.
It's pretty simple.
And
Okay,
then, of course, the reconsider, that was never mentioned also. And so again, you're putting words, you're almost, it's commentary.
what's mentioned?
This reconsider motion.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, you said it was a motion to reconsider.
It is.
So you're putting
Exactly what-
words.
No, it's exactly what you did.
Listen
So you
to the
didn't want to
minutes.
reconsider?
Listen to the minutes. That's not
What are we
how it
doing?
was listed.
We are literally sitting here
So
arguing
because she
over
has
minute
brought,
words,
because she
like
is,
the word
no, it's
fleet.
not minute.
It is, Adam, okay? We have never had confrontation on this board. So when you come off the way you are, in a manner aggressive to her, either an email or your
I don't-
tone toward them,
Excuse
it's
me?
insulting to people, and that's the issue that we're having.
Okay,
Okay.
so don't,
Maybe,
okay?
that's what I'm saying you're doing.
No, you are doing that.
Okay.
I am being transparent. Taxpayers can view the recording, whether it's here, whether it's online, and it's all out there for the public.
You're just.
So I'm not gonna sit here and
your
listen to
demeanor
the words
alone is
twisted,
insulting.
This,
so.
we're gonna move forward. This meeting will move to, I'm gonna actually move the minutes, the approval of those minutes to the next meeting, and we'll sit down and make sure we get the minutes the way they need to be. So, okay, any other questions from the public? Okay. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
No, old business, please. I still have more things. And so I do have a statement here in regards
It's
to
not on
old
the
business.
agenda, sorry.
I'm sorry?
It's
So
not on the
you're-
agenda.
There hasn't been old business on agendas before we've talked about.
There has been, yeah.
So, okay, Mr. Chair.
You can put that on the next meeting if you want.
Let me understand this correctly, so everybody understands.
Sure.
You're limiting my ability,
No, I'm not
To-
limiting it, it's not on the agenda.
it's old business. What do you mean? It's
There's nothing on the
old
agenda.
business.
There's
Mr. Chair, I
nothing.
make the motion that we adjourn the meeting.
I second it.
Note that. Thank you. That's why it's important to not twist.
I'm sorry?
It's important to not twist things around.
Twist?
Yeah.
What do you think's being twisted?
I mean, you're coming up with these other motions that weren't even expressed in the
That's
minutes.
exactly what it is.
And we gotta be careful now, because now we're having legal meetings.
All right,
That's right.